This is why TEEMO is one of the best legends in RIFTBOUND. The game started by my opponent putting his Zonias in base and passing to me. I dropped a Lecturing Yordle, drew a card, and then passed my turn back to him. On his turn, he put the Wizened Elder, and it was then back to me. I then went to the Bandle Tree, hit a card, and ended my turn. Back to him, he buffed his Elder with Lee Sin, moved it into the Bandle Tree, but I then responded by using a Fight or Flight, sending it back to base. He then dropped a Kiana in base, and it was back to me. I went up to 2 points, I hid my TEEMO, and then passed my turn. He decided to bring Kiana to the monastery and charm my Yordle over to it. I had to flip my Sprite Call and send my Yordle to die, which he then brought his Elder over to Bandle Tree, where I used not 1 but 2 Stupefies. And I tried to gust it away, but he used an On Guard and I was no longer able to do it. I then had to flip my TEEMO, which I just decided to retreat for the extra rune and to keep TEEMO safe. He decided to reinforce with the Sunlit Guardian and pass it back to me. 8 runes later, I put my Thousand Tail and wiped out his battlefield, bringing me up to 3 points. I used a Ride the Wind, bringing me up to 4 points. I then decided to hide a card and pass my turn. He ended up going back to the monastery, which was okay. He then dropped 2 Poros in base with a hidden card and it went back to me. With 5 points, it was now time to drop the Mundo. He ended up accelerating a Lee Sin to his battlefield using a challenge and decided to kill my Thousand Tail with his Wizened Elder, being 1 might above it. I then went to 6 points, I used a stack deck, and I then found this, which I immediately used the Singularity on his Lee Sin and his Elder, but he was able to save Lee Sin with the Zonia. On his turn, he dropped a Tasty Fey Folk and decided to move everything to my battlefield, but I was ready with a hidden Fight or Flight, which I sent his Lee Sin back to base, effectively killing every other unit with Mundo. And then with being at 7 points, I put a Raven Bloom down and passed my turn. Back on his turn, he charmed my Mundo back to base and then decided to bring Lee Sin over to the battlefield, which unfortunately killed the Raven Bloom and the TEEMO I had hiding. He dropped a Sunlit Guardian just to be safe and a Kiana in his base. And since I was at 7 points, I knew I just had to hold, so I went to the monastery and passed it back to him. He unfortunately had nothing in hand except for a Pit Rookie, and he then said this.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually it.
And with these being the last cards in my hand, no matter what, it was over. And now you know.